Hare Krishna, Pranam dear devotees. Thank you all so much for joining. Let's start with prayers. Vande'aham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदन्तिकम् ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री उपदेशामृत की जय, श्रील रूप गोस्वामी की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्री गुरु महाराज की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल. Hare Krishna, welcome. Thank you all for joining to continue our reading of this very beautiful scripture, the nectar of instruction, Shri Updeshamrit. So we have started with verse 3. Mataji started the third verse yesterday, and today we'll continue from the point it was left yesterday. So we have to start from this verse, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. So would someone like to read?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Lalita Vinodini Mataji.
Hare
You can
Krishna.
start Mataji and then Padma Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakyam Atmanivedanam. The nine processes of devotional service are as follows. Number 1 is hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Number 2, chanting his glories. 3, remembering the Lord. 4, serving the Lord's feet. 5th, worshipping the deity. 6, offering obeisances unto the Lord. 7, acting as the Lord's servant. 8, making friends with the Lord. 9, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shall I continue, Mataji? Yeah. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. One should not give oral reception to unauthorized persons, but should approach the proper person as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.34. That vidhi pranipatena pari. Hare Krishna. May I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, you read till this paragraph and then Padma Mataji can continue from the next.
Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquiring from him submissively, and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Padma Mataji. You can continue from the next paragraph.
Yeah. It is further recommended in the Mandaka Upanishad that Vijnanartham sa gurum evabi gacchate. To understand the transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami, I have forgot the tune of the Chaitanya Charitamrita Mataji to say this verse.
ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते को ना भाग्यवान जीवा.
Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Rata Bija. In the course of traversing the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate soul may receive the seed of Bhakti Lata, the creep of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya, 1951. The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature Anandamaya, pleasure seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness. But not knowing the process of liberation, they are found to be they are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another. In this way, the living entities are wandering throughout the material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from him patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society of Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity at large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
So now
Krishna.
let us, Hare Krishna. So before we start the explanation, let's read the verse and the translation. Sudha Mataji, do you want to read?
Okay, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
उत्साहा निश्चया धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service. 1. Being enthusiastic. 2. Endeavoring with confidence. 3. Being patient. 4. Acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna. 5. Abandoning the association of non-devotees. And 6. Following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service.
Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you,
Mataji.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So, in the previous verse, we had read about 6 things which are detrimental to the progress of bhakti. And in this shloka, we are reading about 6 activities which are favorable, which are conducive to our growth in bhakti. But as we are reading through the purport, we see that Prabhupada till now has not started explaining any of these 6 principles, right? I mean, he has not started talking about Utsahan or Dhairya. So, why is that? That is because Prabhupada is first explaining to us that what actually is devotion, because these principles are conducive to our growth in bhakti. So, first we have to understand what exactly is devotion. What exactly is that feeling, or is it just a feeling, or is it action also? So, first he is explaining that part very clearly, and that's why in the very first sentence in the purport, he says that devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. So many people, because many people misunderstand this and they think that, okay, bhakti is just a matter of the heart. Yes, it is a matter of the heart, but it is not just a matter of the heart. There is action also involved. Okay, and it's very incomplete to say that I can just sit and think of Krishna. I had a dream about Krishna and Radharani. I'm having these visions, and even though I'm not rendering any service, if I say that I'm having these visions of Krishna, Krishna comes in my dream, I can hear Krishna's flute playing, all these kind of things people say. But Prabhupada is calling them mental speculation, sentimental speculation, and imaginative ecstasy. So that is not what bhakti actually is. When we understand what bhakti really is, as Prabhupada is very wonderfully explaining in the purport, then we will understand that bhakti involves a lot of action. Yes, there is a churning of the heart. Yes, there are emotions. Yes, we do feel a change in ourselves. We do feel, those emotions running through us. But there is a lot of effort, there's a lot of action involved. Prabhupada is drilling this point through this purport. He's taking time before he actually starts explaining Utsaha. Because if we don't understand that there is some effort, actual physical effort, some activity needed from our end, till we understand that these words will not really have much of an effect on us. Because if we understand, okay, I have to really do something, then we'll go and read this verse and understand, oh, these are the things that I actually need to do. And we'll understand the importance of doing those things, how important that is for us to actually make some advancement. So, the essence of bhakti is not having the so called divine visions or just some feelings. It's about developing a relationship with Krishna, and a relationship is developed when there is commitment. So the strength of any relationship is how committed we are through thick and thin. So any any relationship we see in this world also, if we just say that, oh, I really love my mother, but yet I'm not willing to do anything for her, then this is not really true love. So we have to be committed. Like, the gopis, they were so committed to Krishna, because one, you all must be knowing this story that when Krishna had a headache, then Krishna said that I need the dust of the feet of some devotee. When I apply that on my head, only then will my headache be cured. And Narad Muni was going everywhere asking everyone. But the gopis, just to give some relief to Krishna, they were willing to go to hell for eternity. Right? They were willing to give their dust. And if their dust goes on Krishna's head, they would go to hell. But they are willing to do that just to give pleasure to Krishna. So this is their commitment. They are not thinking about themselves. They are not thinking that, oh, if I give the dust from my feet, what is going to happen to me? They don't care about all those things. They are just thinking about what gives pleasure to Krishna. So this is what uh, our consciousness should be. That we should not be thinking about what is giving me pleasure. Is Krishna giving me pleasure, or is Bhakti giving me pleasure or not? But what is actually giving pleasure to Krishna, and that will involve physical activity. That is how we show our love and commitment. And the closest we come in this world to seeing what this is all about is a mother's love for a child. But again, the mother's love, there is so much physical activity. The child, when the child is young or when the child grows, there is so much work that a mother has to do. But she does it out of just care and concern for the child. So, when we are trying to develop love for Krishna, when we are trying to practice bhakti, that bhakti should be shown through action. Like some people criticize that, oh, why do you all do such loud kirtans? Why do you all have to make a show of your bhakti? This is not making a show of bhakti. This is just an expression of bhakti. Okay, so real love is seen through selfless service. That's how, we can show the authenticity of our love. And that is depicted by a willingness to sacrifice. A mother or any parent also, they sacrifice so much for the child, right? But that is how love is actually shown. And love is tested by what we are ready to do for the person that we love. It's not mental speculation. There has to be practical activity. And we see that so clearly in Prabhupada's example. The kind of sacrifices that he made are extraordinary. They are unparalleled. And the kind of suffering he endured to bring Krishna consciousness to the world, it's just exemplary. He gave up his comfortable life in Vrindavan. He went to the US where he had a very tough life, no money, harsh weather. He was cooking for the hippies, he was cleaning after them, he was serving them. So the substance is practical activity. And if we see all the senior devotees, the actual the devotees whom we can really see how pure they are. They are not just leading a dormant life, they are all going around, they are preaching even with bad health or advanced age. All the Maharajas, all the sannyasis in ISKCON, so many brahmacharis we see, They don't care about their physical discomfort, but they are just in so much activity, traveling, preaching, giving lectures, giving classes, having kirtans, making new devotees. So the substance is practical activity. Prabhupada knew what was required to bring people closer to Krishna. So it's not what gives me ecstasy, it's what gives Krishna ecstasy. That is important. So His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says that service is the vehicle of devotion and service is also the engine of devotion. So devotion is expressed or conveyed through our service, and by rendering service, our devotional feelings also get stimulated. So that's why service is the vehicle and service is the engine also of devotion. And it's the expression of our love. It's not an exhibition of love. That's the difference. When people criticize us for having loud kirtans or dancing, it's not that we are exhibiting something. It is just that devotees are expressing their love. Okay. So now we understand from the starting point of the purport that service is important. It is how we show our love to Krishna. So service is important. Now, what are those services? What are those processes that we can do through which we can actually develop our love for Krishna and also show that we are in love with Krishna? That is given in this purport where Prabhupada is quoting Sri Prahlad Maharaj from the Bhagavatam. It's a very famous shlok where the 9 processes of devotional service are given. So service is important. We understand that. Now, what are those services? How can we serve Krishna? For that also, there are 9 different ways. We can hear about Krishna, that is Shravanam. So we can hear, we can remember Krishna, we can chant his glories. In this way, 9 different limbs of bhakti are given. And our devotees explain that these services, these 9 processes, they help us revive our love for Krishna. So, love for Krishna is not like love in this material world where two people meet, they see each other, they get attracted, there is love. It's not like that. Love for Krishna is dormant in everyone's heart. It needs to be revived. And by rendering service to Krishna, that love is revived. And we become spiritually healed. Our devotional memory comes back. And, it's like uh, remembering something that we have long forgotten. So that is all revived when we start rendering service to Krishna. And Prabhupada is quoting Prahlad Maharaj when 9 limbs of bhakti are given. Okay. Now, if we read through these different activities, this very beautiful verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, where Prahlad Maharaj is actually speaking to his father, the demon king Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu obviously was completely, anyway, he had animosity towards the Lord, but Prahlad Maharaj was deep rooted in his bhakti and in his love, in his attachment to Lord Vishnu, as was taught to him by his guru Narad Muni. So he says that anyone who performs these 9 processes of devotional service is very dear to Lord Krishna, and such people are the most intelligent in this cosmic manifestation. Now, in the world today, everyone is trying to show off how intelligent they are, how smart they are, how they are better than the others. And here we have the sutra. How can we be most intelligent? While serving Krishna. Prahlad Maharaj, I mean, that nobody can doubt his level of intelligence, his level of bhakti. When the Lord comes personally to save someone, we can understand how great that personality is. Now, someone as great as Prahlad Maharaj is saying that if you render these 9 processes of devotional service, then you are the most intelligent in this cosmic manifestation. So it will be very mindless and very silly on our part if we ignore these things. So that's why, this verse is quoted so often, so that every day we are reminded, oh, there are so many things I can do for Krishna. It's not that we just have to sit and meditate. It's not, a still activity like that. We read through these 9 processes. Only Smaranam is one activity where, okay, we can just, it's about just thinking. Other than that, All other activities involve doing something physically. So Shravanam means hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And now there are so many avenues for Shravanam. We should definitely try to go to temple and hear from devotees. And here we should not be picky that, okay, I'm going to hear only from this devotee. So in the temple, if anyone else is giving a lecture, I'm not going to hear from that. No, that's not how it works. We should be just eager to hear about Krishna. So yeah, I mean, when we are otherwise hearing, say, for example, if we are hearing on YouTube or other such sources, yeah, then we may have some devotees who really inspire us, and we hear more from them. But for example, if we are, the way we are advised to go to temple every Sundays, and there is a Sunday program, and then there we go and we become picky. That, oh, today this devotee is speaking, I'm not going to go to the temple. I'll only go to the temple when such and such devotee comes. It's not like that. Or I'll go to the temple only when my Guru Maharaj comes and speaks. It should not be like that. Our attachment should be to hearing about Krishna. And we never know in which lecture, from which devotee, what we'll hear, which can really transform our lives. So, yes, there will be some devotees who inspire us more. We hear more from them. But, we should not neglect hearing in general just because we have a preference for someone and we don't like someone. That should not be the criteria. So, hearing about the names and glories of Krishna, that's Shravanam. Then Kirtanam, chanting the glories of Krishna, praising the qualities and pastimes of Lord Krishna. So, and we can tell others also about Krishna, we can sing kirtans, we can chant, read, all those things are in Kirtanam. Vishnu Smaranam, remembering the Lord. We should make our day, we should form our schedule in such a way that we are reminded about Krishna constantly, because actually that is what is going to really help us. So, our home, our workplace, our daily schedule should all be woven around this remembrance of Krishna. Then, Path Sevnam, serving the Lord's feet, worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord. There are so many ways in which we can worship the Lord. We can offer flowers, we can offer food, we can cook nicely for the Lord, we can decorate the temple, serving the lotus feet. Then Archanam, worshipping the deity form of the Lord. So our Vedic scriptures they have given very nice ways in which the deities can be served. So doing deity worship. And then Vandanam, there are so many beautiful prayers in our scriptures. Bhagavatam itself is full of wonderful prayers. Then our acharyas have written so many beautiful bhajans, so many songs in glorifying the Lord. And then, in accordance with our the instructions from the acharyas, we can, ourselves also pray to the Lord. But definitely we should offer prayers to the Lord. And then dasyam, acting as the Lord's servant, rendering service to the Lord. So here we should not become picky and choosy about what service I'm going to render. Okay, I don't like this, so I'm not going to do this. I don't like book distribution, so I'll never go for book distribution. I only like cooking, so I'm only going to do that. That's not the mentality a servant has. The servant's mentality is that whatever the master likes, we have to do that. So, if at a particular point I get a service that I really like and it suits my psychophysical nature, fine. But if circumstances are such that there is some other service also which comes up, then we should be very eager to take that, because we should be in the bhav of a das, acting as a Lord's servant. And then Sakyam, so beautiful. One should be very friendly to the Lord and rendering services also in that mood. See, friendship is one emotion where there is no compulsion, where there is no formality, right? This does not mean that we don't follow the principles prescribed for worship of the Lord. It's not that. It's just that the service should be done out of a very easygoing love. It's not that anybody is forcing me to serve Krishna. No, I just, Krishna is my friend, so I want to see my friend happy. So it should be in that mood. And devotees say that if we preach about Krishna's glory, that is also a sign that we are considering Krishna as our friend. because we want the world to know how wonderful my friend is. And because we have felt that Krishna has always been the best friend to me, so I should also be a very good friend to Krishna. And how can I do that? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that one who preaches his glories is very dear, is the most dear to him. So let me follow what my friend says and let me go and preach the glories of my friend. So Sakhyam. And then Atmanivedanam, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord, dedicating oneself completely to the process of devotional service. So that should be our aim in life, that everything that we are doing, we may be in different phases in our life. We may have many other responsibilities that are also important that we have to do. But first of all, we should do all that with Krishna in the center. And then it should be a constant attempt on a daily basis to dedicate myself more and more and more to the process of devotional service. So that should be our motivation. Now, some devotees are able to perform all nine limbs of bhakti, and some may perform only one or two. But a person can perfect one's life if they are dedicated to even one process. So, bhakti is so effective, so powerful, and these nine processes are so powerful that even if one is dedicated to one of these processes, also, their life will become perfect. So, more and more of these processes we should try to inculcate in our daily schedule so that our constant remembrance of Krishna keeps on increasing. Then, in the purport, in the next section, Srila Prabhupada talks about the importance of Shravanam. And he says that this is the first step in acquiring transcendental knowledge. And Prabhupada says that one should not give oral reception to unauthorized persons, but should approach the proper person as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, where the Lord says that one should learn this truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire submissively, render service unto him. They can impart knowledge because the self-reliant souls have seen the truth. So Prabhupada is highlighting the importance of hearing, but from the proper source. So as we are, when we are reading, okay, oh Shravanam, okay, we should hear about Krishna. Now these days, especially, there's so many people who are talking about spiritual matters. Now, whether they come from a bona fide parampara or not, we don't know. And they may be very good orators. They may know a lot of shlokas. They may use very good language. So when we hear from them, we tend to think, oh, this person seems, correct. This person seems to be a genuine. And then we start hearing from them, but we don't know anything. We don't know the intricacies of spiritual matters, right? So if a person who is not really qualified to be talking about those matters, they speak something, we may think, oh, this is actually true, and we may start following those things. And that is such a big risk because we have wasted our time and we have wasted this opportunity of following the right path. That is why Prabhupada keeps stressing this point of hearing from a bona fide source, authorized source, Guru Parampara. Prabhupada, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, he lists the parampara. He shows where he's coming in this parampara, starting with Krishna, so that we can be sure that, oh, when we are reading Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita as it is, we are reading the book written by a person who comes in a bona fide parampara. So that's the first question that we should be asking ourselves. And devotees definitely tell us that there is so much to hear in ISKCON itself. Why go and hear from anyone else? Yes, there are so many other speakers who come from bona fide paramparas also. But why leave our parampara and go hear from someone else? We have so much of content in ISKCON itself. So we should focus on this because we are 100% sure that this is all bona fide. There is no adulteration that has been made. So that's what Prabhupada is stressing, that we should hear from the proper source. And hearing is important at every stage of bhakti. We cannot say that, oh, now I have spent so many years in ISKCON, now I have read so many books. I give classes. I am an expert now. So I am content. I don't need to really hear from anyone. At any stage of our bhakti life, hearing is very, very important. And we should hear with an anxiety that, oh my Gurudev, I really need your mercy. I am insufficient materially and spiritually without your mercy. So with that feeling of, desperation, we should hear from our Guru Maharaj. And in this regard, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj gives the example of Srila Vyasdev. Now, Vyasdev, we can understand what was his level of spiritual realization. But what was his consciousness? When he was hearing from Narad Muni, he was so eager. He didn't have that attitude that, oh, I have compiled the four Vedas, I have written the Puranas, I have written the Itihasas, I have written the Mahabharata, I have written the Vedanta Sutra. Why should I, what is left for me to hear? He was very eager. He was very eager to hear from Narad Muni. So, can we compare ourselves to Vyasdev and, become very proud of our knowledge or our reading? No. Vyasdev was speaking continuously. Ganpati was writing. Now, yet, after so much of writing, so much of knowledge, Vyasdev was still longing for direction. He was still longing for guidance. And that is how we should also be when we're hearing from our Guru Maharaj, other bona fide sources. It should be with that open mind that, oh, I need spiritual purification. I really need to hear. I'm lacking so much in my spiritual life. I have to hear, I have to become better. So this is how we should be so excited and so dedicated to Shravanam. So very important. And even in the spiritual world, when one is in their Siddha Deha, even at that time they are never thinking that I'm good now, I have achieved the best one can achieve, I have done enough. No, in the spiritual world also everyone is thinking, what more can I do, what more can I learn? They are very receptive to hearing, and they are very anxious to hearing more about how I can serve Krishna better. What can I do more for Krishna? So on the path of our bhakti, we should always aspire for the mercy and the guidance of our seniors. If we close ourselves to hearing from seniors, then we are doing a very big harm to ourselves. And we really have to take our ego out of the equation. Yeah, someone may actually be younger than us in age. So what? They may be way more spiritually advanced than us. In ISKCON now, you can see there are so many speakers who are so young. But when you hear them speak, their knowledge is of a completely different level. So this ego or this inhibitions should not come in the way of our progress in bhakti. Bhakti is a matter of the heart. Our age or our social standing should not have anything to do with where we are hearing from or who we are hearing from. There are so many devotees who are so advanced, whatever their social standing may be, whatever their age may be. If they are in the right parampara, we should always be open to hearing from them. Lord Krishna, when he when he also comes and he performs his pastimes, in every form the Lord takes, he always accepts a spiritual master. So he is himself showing by his personal example how important it is to hear from the Guru. And it's not like, okay, he would just accept a Guru for show. He would not have any relationship with the Guru. It was not like that. He was totally committed to his Guru. And Srila Prabhupada said that by hearing about a place, we get excited to see that place and then we start preparing to go there. For example, if someone now tells us about Ayodhya, they have gone to Ayodhya, they have seen the new temple of Lord Ram, and they tell us, oh, the deity is so beautiful, or the temple is so wonderful. This is how everything is. Now, just by hearing about Ayodhya Dham, we get excited, right? And then we make preparations to go to Ayodhya Dham. In the same way, our spiritual master, when he's telling us about Krishna, they're telling us about Goloka Vrindavan, then that will bring that desire in our heart also that, oh, I also want to go to Vrindavan. I also want to see Mother Yashoda, feed Krishna, or how are the cows interacting with Krishna? How are Krishna's friends having these pastimes with Krishna? That desire comes in our heart, and then we start preparing. So, spiritual master's direction is necessary. That is the Guru Parampara system. And in his direction is embedded his mercy. So, devotees say that, oh, we are praying for the mercy of Guru Parampara, we are praying for the mercy of our acharyas. How will that mercy come to us? That mercy comes in the form of their instructions, that mercy comes in the form of their books. So, this is our way of tapping into that mercy by hearing and reading from these books, which all of you are doing. So that is so wonderful. This will bring that mercy in our lives. So, once I had heard this pastime of Lord Ram and Mother Sita, that during their Swayamvar, Mother Sita brings the garland and she's waiting to garland Lord Ram, but Lord Ram is very tall. So Mother Sita is not able to reach Lord Ram. And then Lakshmanji, he can see this and he understands, oh, this is the problem Sita Maya is having. So he goes and he touches the lotus feet of Lord Ram, and Lord Ram bows down to bless. He blesses Lakshmanji, so he bends a little, and that's when Mother Sita garlands him. So this is one very simple pastime which I was narrating to my daughter when she was around 6 or 7 years old. And for a small child, also, just by hearing this pastime, she was telling me that I want to see this. I want to see this happen. So, just the Lord's pastimes, the point I'm trying to highlight is Lord's pastimes are so beautiful that hearing about them can even make a small child eager to see them. So, imagine, when we hear about the Lord's pastimes from our gurus, from our acharyas, how much more powerful will that be? And then it will really that because they have seen all these things, and when they are speaking out of experience. For me, I just heard and narrated, but our acharyas, our Guru Maharajas, they are speaking out of experience. Prabhupada is speaking out of experience. When he says that Krishna is like this, he has seen Krishna and he's speaking. So, how much more powerful will that be? So, that's why we should be eager to hear more and more because we don't know when we'll hear that one lecture which will change our life completely, which will really give that seed in our heart, that strong desire to see Krishna, that strong desire to serve Krishna. So that's why, Prabhupada is taking so much time to highlight the importance of Shravanam. Then in the next para, Prabhupada is talking about the importance of Guru, understanding the transcendental science by approaching a bona fide spiritual master. So why is a spiritual master so important in our life? Because the spiritual master is like a parent for us. Every child needs a parent who can maintain the child because the child is helpless. In the same way, we are also helpless in our spiritual journey. We are completely helpless in this material world, and our Guru Dev, he is that parent who maintains us. So, even, like I mentioned, when the Lord comes, he also has a spiritual master. Lord Krishna went to the ashram of Sandipani Muni. Lord Ram had Vashisht ji, and then Vishwamitra ji was taking guidance from so many rishis. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted initiation from Ishwarpuri. So they are also teaching us about the importance of a guru. So that's why in Bhagavad Gita now 4.34, which Prabhupada quoted, Krishna is telling Arjun that, you need a guru. You have to approach a guru. And what is our attitude towards guru? We should be submissive and we should render service to them. So our inquiries to our Guru Maharaj should not be just because we want to test their knowledge or we want to show the audience what intelligent questions I can ask. That should not be our objective of inquiring from our Guru Maharaj. The inquiries should be submissive, they should be humble, and we should be rendering service to our Gurudev. Yeah, for some of us, we may not be able to meet our Guru physically and render physical service to them. But what is this great service that all of us can render to our Guru Maharaj is hearing from them. This their instructions. If we hear them with attention and we try to follow them in our life, then we are really serving them, really with our heart. So, if we want to get the favor of the Lord, then we need to get the favor of our Guru because he is the one who teaches us what we don't know. So it is absolutely necessary. Having a guru is not a matter of choice. If we are even the least bit serious in our spiritual life, we have to approach a spiritual master. We have to inquire submissively and we have to render services to our guru. And the spiritual master lives in his instruction and he likes to see how his disciples are attentive to that. So if we are really very very grateful to Srila Prabhupada for all his mercy, then how do we reciprocate with his love? By reading his books and by trying to imbibe that teaching, that learning in our lives. So Prabhupada in the purport to Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Prabhupada has said that the spiritual realization path is definitely difficult, and therefore, the Lord advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord Himself. Okay, every bona fide disciplic succession should come from Krishna Himself. And Prabhupada also says that no one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following the principle of disciplic succession. Okay. And who is the original spiritual master? The Lord Himself. And a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciple. That's the magic of Guru Parampara, that it is the same message of the Lord that we are receiving. And Prabhupada says that no one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process. Okay, even any materialistic field also, if we see, we cannot get expertise in that field by ourselves. I cannot go and buy a book about surgery and then just become a surgeon by myself. It is impossible. And this is just materialistic education. What to talk about spiritual education, which is a much, much higher knowledge, and it is a completely different domain. So we can never think that we can become spiritually realized without having a guru. And Prabhupada quotes from Bhagavatam 6.3.19, where it said that Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam. That means the path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, Prabhupada says that mental speculation, dry arguments cannot help us on the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master, surrender to them. Only then can we receive the spiritual knowledge, and we should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without any false prestige. Satisfaction of the spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. And then Prabhupada says that inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. So we should be very very devoted, we should be completely submissive to our Guru Maharaj. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. This is what Prabhupada is saying. So it should not be like, okay, everyone is saying you should accept a guru. Okay, I'll also aspire for Diksha. Okay, everyone is saying we should have questions. Okay, let me pose questions. No, this is not just an external thing. It's a matter of the heart. That submission, that feeling has to come from one's heart. Okay, and that's when this interaction between the guru and the disciple will become effective. And it's not just a physical thing that, oh, if I'm uh, in the physical presence of my guru, only then can this exchange of knowledge happen. No, it's actually a very mystic thing, that even if the guru is not really physically present in front of me, but if one's devotion to the guru, if one's submissiveness is completely pure, and 100% there is devotion to the guru, and we are totally dedicated to our Guru Maharaj, we'll see that devotees, they feel that connection with their Guru Maharaj even when the physical presence is not there. Once I was hearing Her Grace Govinda Dasi Mataji. She was one of the very first disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And she was in the initial group of devotees, and then Prabhupada had sent her to another place for starting a temple. So Govinda Dasi Mataji and her husband, they went to this other place, and there they were in the process of starting a new temple. Now, in this struggle for starting a new temple, obviously they had to take jobs so that they could earn money and support the temple. So Mataji says that somewhere in getting a job, working, earning money, she felt that her consciousness was kind of not the same as it was earlier. And but time passed, and there was some temple, some building that they could get, and some preaching was going on. But it was her desire that Prabhupada should come a little later, when things are more stable and there are more devotees and things are better. Then Prabhupada should come and visit. But Prabhupada's plan happened before that. So Mataji says that she was a little not that happy, because she wanted to show Prabhupada a better place. So she was saying that when Prabhupada came, we welcomed, everything was done. But she was saying that one day I was sitting in the temple room, and I was just chanting. And then this realization came in her mind that Prabhupada actually came early because of her, because of her consciousness. Prabhupada came to help her, in her consciousness, which was probably going down. Now, obviously, these are all very advanced devotees. So they are saying all these things as a learning for us. Mataji is a very exalted devotee, but she's saying this to teach all of us. So she was saying that at that moment, I could feel that Prabhupada has come for me to help my consciousness, to help my bhakti. And as she was thinking this, she just turned back, and Prabhupada was sitting at the back of the temple room, and he was nodding his head like this. He looked at Mataji and he nodded. So Prabhupada knew, even when he was not in the same city also as Mataji, Prabhupada knew about all of his disciples. Prabhupada even wrote in one of the letters that we are still connected. Even though Prabhupada was in India, they were in the US, Prabhupada told them that we are still connected. So we should never think that just because Prabhupada is not there in front of us, I cannot have a connection with Prabhupada. Through his books, through his teachings, if we are sincerely following and reading them, we are 100% connected with Prabhupada. And if we are following the instructions of our Gurudev, we are definitely connected with them. Otherwise, who is there who is giving us the spiritual energy to go about our sadhana every day? Where is that energy coming from? That's coming from Srila Prabhupada. That's coming from our Gurudev. All through the the trials and tribulations in our life, who is it that is actually supporting us? That's the mercy of our Gurudev. That's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. So this physical barrier is not there in spiritual life. So and that is such a that is something that can give us so much solace, isn't it? Because our Guru Maharaj could be traveling all around the world. Some of us may not get to see our Guru Maharaj even once a year. Some are very fortunate that they get darshan often, but some may not get it. But that should not dishearten us. Yes, we should always try to have darshan of Guru Maharaj physically, hear from them physically. But through their Vani, through their mercy, they are always with us. And Prabhupada says that we are very fortunate, that we get this advantage. He says that if by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens. And this is from Prabhupada is explaining from this verse from Chaitanya Charitamrita, where it is mentioned that some fortunate soul may receive the seed of Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service, and this is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. And Prabhupada mentions in the purport to this verse that when we speak of Brahman, we refer to the whole universe or to the cluster of many millions of universes. And in all these universes, there are innumerable planets and there are innumerable living entities upon those planets, in the air, on land, and in the water. There are living entities everywhere, right? So there are millions and there are millions and trillions of living entities everywhere, and they are engaged by Maya in suffering and enjoying the results of their fruitive activity life after life. So Prabhupada says that that is the position of a conditioned living entity. Now, out of so many of these living entities, one who is actually fortunate, Bhagyavan, comes in contact with a bona fide spiritual master by Krishna's mercy. So, if we have received this fortune, we should really value it. And when we read through such words of Srila Prabhupada, we should become more and more convinced of our great fortune. And that should make us more and more sincere on the path of bhakti. We should never take it for granted. Yes, sometimes things happen in our materialistic life that make us think that, oh, life is so hard, life is so harsh. I have such bad luck. This thing happened to me, this thing happened to me, my life is so difficult. Yes, that may be true. But way bigger than all that misfortune is this fortune that we have received, that we are hearing from Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada further says in the purport that Krishna is situated in everyone's heart, and if one desires something, Krishna fulfills one's desires. If the living entity by chance or fortune comes in contact with the Krishna consciousness movement and wishes to associate with that movement, Krishna, who is situated in everyone's heart, gives him the chance to meet a bona fide spiritual master. So if one is eager to have a guru, Krishna will make that happen. And Prabhupada says that this is called Guru Krishna Prasad. Krishna is prepared to bestow his mercy upon the living entities, and as soon as a living entity desires the Lord's mercy, the Lord immediately gives him an opportunity to meet a bona fide spiritual master. Such a fortunate person is fortified by both Krishna and the spiritual master. He is helped from within by Krishna and from without by the spiritual master. Both are prepared to help the sincere living being become free from material bondage. So, such a beautiful purport even for the Chaitanya Charitamrita verse. And here also, Prabhupada is saying the same thing, that by good fortune one comes into contact with a pure devotee and hears from them patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. So, what is it that is lacking? We have all the wonderful books, we have such beautiful lectures, we have such beautiful temples. Prabhupada has given us such a simple and wonderful program that we have to follow. He has made everything so simple for us. The only problem comes is that our commitment lacks, and that is because of so many attractions that we may have, at least speaking about myself, that there are so many distractions, there are so many materialistic desires. Then when those desires don't get fulfilled, we feel sad, we feel dejected, and then we feel, oh, what is the point of everything? But when we are reading through these beautiful books, we have to take it very seriously. By Prabhupada's mercy, we should try to understand that we are actually very, very fortunate. See, if in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is mentioned that Kaun Bhagyavan Jeev, who is that one fortunate Jiva who gets this Bhakti Lata Beach? So if we have come in contact with such devotees and we have received this wonderful opportunity of hearing from them, then we should really work on our sincerity level, sincerely trying to follow what they are asking us to do. And whenever there is an opportunity to get the darshan and to hear from these pure advanced devotees, then we should just leave everything aside and go for that. So, for example, if there is there is an opportunity in our local temple or somewhere where we hear that some great devotees coming, some advanced devotees coming, then we should really make it a very make a very sincere attempt to go have darshan, hear from them. And also, Prabhupada has given us this wonderful Sunday program that is giving us an opportunity to associate with so many devotees at the same time. So we should give up our laziness and really formulate our week, our time in such a way, plan everything so nicely that we are able to give preference to this thing, which is actually the most important thing. Okay, so Prabhupada, in the next paragraph, he'll start explaining about enthusiasm, that is utsahan. So that will come from the next paragraph. But till this point, Prabhupada has really explained to us what is devotion. And devotion means activity. And what are those activities? How can we really show Krishna that we love Krishna? Okay, so this is what we completed till now. We'll stop here. If there are any questions, any comments, anything you would like to add or share any realizations, then we can take that for a few minutes. No? Okay. Then let us all feel very, very fortunate and be very thankful to Srila Prabhupada for giving us this wonderful family, this wonderful home called ISKCON. Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Clarification I want to make. These
Yes,
9
Mataji.
phases of devotional service. In there, number 2, chanting his glories. That is praising him and all that is praising Krishna. All that is referred to chanting. Chanting his holy name. That I'm getting a bit confused. What is that? Number
Mataji,
2,
chanting.
his
So
glories.
Shravanam Kirtanam. So Kirtanam is chanting the names of Krishna and chanting the glories of Krishna. So talking about Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's name, everything is coming in Kirtanam.
Okay, so in that chanting is also Hare Krishna,
Yes,
that's
yes.
also included. Okay, thank you.
That is included. Yes,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. So thank you all for joining today. Vancha kalpatrubhyascha kripa sindhu
Kripa
bhyavacha
sindhu bheva
patitanam
patitanam
pavnebhyo vaishnavyo namo namah.
namo
अनंत कोटि
namah.
वैष्णव वृंद की जय,
जय
श्री
श्री
उपदेशामृत की जय, श्री रूप
जय श्री
गोस्वामी की
रूप
जय, श्री
गोस्वामी की जय,
गुरु
प्रभुपाद
महाराज
की
की
जय, गुरु
प्रभुपाद
महाराज
की
की
जय।
जय।
हरे कृष्णा. थैंक यू ऑल.
थैंक यू
हरि
माता,
बोल.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
थैंक यू
Mataji.
माता
Dandavat
जी। हरे
pranam. Thank
कृष्णा,
you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
प्रणाम माता जी।